Welcome to the Force Always. My name is Diz, aka David Zammit. Let's get on with the news, views, reviews, and interviews. Anyway, the news this week was really about, Rey Skywalker, the character who was in episode 9 last, possibly being in the new film Starfighter, which is coming out in 2027, which I'm still saying is the secret episode 10. They have not revealed it, but that's what I think. But the uproar with the hardcore Star Wars fans, part of the hardcore Star Wars fans, repulsed by Rey Skywalker being in the actual film, has been pretty much the news this week. As the dust settles, we are sort of just now privy to knowing this reported information. Reported, meaning it's not 100% confirmed really from Star Wars, only from certain internet or YouTube outlets. That's all. Anyway, so that's the news for this time around. So we've got now views. Views is my story ideas. It's just ideas that I have. It doesn't mean I don't accept the Star Wars story as it is. I do, and I love it. And I sort of, just get cringe to it as well. But it's just an idea, that's all it is. It doesn't mean it has to be the story, but it's just ideas. So we've had the news in this last week, the big talking piece with Rey Skywalker, the character, being in Starfighter. Now, this is sort of an unusual story idea on my behalf. I personally, if I was writing or producing or directing a Star Wars film, which would be an absolute highlight of my life, I will not let any story idea get out. You can speculate all you want, I'd keep it under wraps. And I'll tell you why. Not to be secretive amongst people and say, I know something you don't. It's more that the whole impact of Star Wars is best left unknown. When we got A New Hope, Star Wars, the original one in 1977, no one really knew anything about what the hell was going on. Everyone was really, sort of baffled with all these strange looking characters, but it had something that was intriguing to the audience back in 1977, which created a massive impact at the cinema, creating massive lines as you see in all the historical videos and pictures and things like that. I would even go as hard as not even releasing a trailer, a small trailer of about 2 minutes, less than 2 months before the release. Not showing non-confidence, but to show, to give that impact of surprise. I would definitely have a lot of print media out there, sort of extensive print media to advertise the film, but less on the video, audio type stuff, because it's best left not said. That's. I know it sounds a bit of a strange marketing thing, and probably most marketing places would disagree with what I'm saying, but I think Star Wars, the brand, Star Wars, the intrigue, is bigger than we all think. We can't take it for granted. You need to advertise it. You can't just not advertise Coke. You need to advertise it. Coca-Cola, that is, not cocaine. But I just would not. My story idea is actually not really a story idea, but it's an idea to letting the story out. I would not let it out at all. You can speculate. I would keep it a serious tight ship, and it would be just a great viewing experience. All of us having one trailer less than a couple months before the actual release, but a lot of print media to give, the awareness of it's coming out. That's it. That's what I do. Posters. I'd even go as far as billboards. Anyway, that is my view for this time around. Let's get into reviews. Reviews this time around is something unusual. Now, I have actually been to Galaxy's Edge in LA. Let me tell you, it was 2 days of bliss. I actually went to the Disneyland original park, not the, I think it's called the Californian side. Californian side is the real scary rides. I'm not into scary rides. I'd go on them if I had to, but I'm not really right into them. I actually went to the original Disneyland because I knew Galaxy's Edge was in there. And what I found was just amazing. I really dug it. I thought it was great. You know, having more themed areas of the original trilogy or the prequel trilogy and things like that would have been great. But the park itself, the actual area of Galaxy's Edge was great. And one of the things I got there was one of these. And one of these. I got the diet and the regular. These are the Coca-Cola bottles that you get. Look at this. Even with the Star Wars type of sort of writing to it in the Coca-Cola way. Just, this is one of these products that you just go, you know, it makes sense. It's cool. The integration of reality with a little bit of fantasy, being like a Star Wars grenade and being a drink in the size of a drink. It's great. These things I give 10 out of 10. I just love these things. Galaxy's Edge, wherever you go, Orlando or even LA. 10 out of 10 for these. That is the review. Let's now get into interviews. Let's get this party started. Right. We've got... Can you believe it? Looking at the comments, it's Michael from Werribee South. Michael from Werribee South. He is wanting some answers from his questions. So let's get right into it. So the first question is, recent reports also indicate that Lucasfilm has hired Simon Kinberg to write and produce a new trilogy of Star Wars movies. Some sources indicate these movies may actually be episodes 10, 12 of the Skywalker saga, while others note they will be wholly original. Is this true? This is easily answered with one word: speculation. Nothing has been confirmed with this, what's his name again? Simon Kinberg. Nothing has been confirmed with 10, 11 or 12. Nothing. It's really up in the air. So is this true? No. It's just speculation right now, Michael, and to any other Star Wars fans out there. Let's get into his other question. Michael, Werribee South. It's part of Melbourne, the west side. When you hear some loud bangs on that side, it's not gunshots, it's cars backfiring. Anyway, so why is Rey Skywalker what is Rey Skywalker's midichlorian count? Is it higher than Anakin's? Anakin Skywalker, that is. Anakin's is way massive, big, huge. It's more than 20,000, I think it is. Midichlorians is, let's put it this way, the amount of force ability, let's really dumb it down. The force ability is within oneself, what they have to be strong with the force. And Anakin's was found early on in episode 1, Phantom Menace, by Qui-Gon Jinn to be more than 20,000. That's apparently really high, and that is high. But is Rey Skywalker's higher? Well, there's no recorded midichlorian count for Rey Skywalker. I would say it's up there, but how close, we'll never know, or we may know. Midichlorian count is also referred to in the movies because midichlorian count got really ridiculed by a lot of people. The actual name, midichlorian. So they call it M count. That's a bit of a fun fact for you. When they say M count, the M stands for midichlorian, just to let you know. It's said a couple of times in the movies. Okay, so the final question from Michael from Werribee South. Why is Rey Skywalker accused of being a Mary Sue? Well, really, because this is interesting because her story came out her strength really just came out of nowhere, and it was huge. Not much training involved to evolve in the Force, being a Jedi. Nothing. She was just, up there to the top straight away. And I get why that can be a little bit sort of jarring. It's like, you need a bit of history about this. And I think it's worthy of explaining a bit more. But, we've got to take on in the Star Wars saga that everyone is not always going to be the same type of Jedi, Sith, regular character, droid, alien. There's unknown things in our reality of our own world. That why is people all of a sudden so great at maths or so great at being an artiste or without much training? It's a reality that is not really explained, but it happens. And I think with Rey Skywalker, the character, it just happened. It was just somebody that was powerful in the Force, and that's a reality. It was not really seen or heard upon in Star Wars until that point. But for me, and this is going to cause a bit of controversy with some people, that the reasoning behind the Emperor being the grandfather of Rey Skywalker, that's a bit of a spoiler there, I think it was a quite good idea, story idea, to explain why she's so strong. The only problem with that, in which I still accept the story, is that there was no real lead up in episode 8, which was The Last Jedi. There was nothing to have speculation or a workup thing. But you know what? I really do like the idea of the Emperor being in The Rise of Skywalker. I really do like the idea of Rey being connected to that person, explaining why she's so strong. It just made sense to me. Not many people out there would like it, but that's me. But anyway, that's the show for this time around. I'm wishing to. Next week is going to be pretty big in this show, just to let you know. Got a couple of reviews with particular movies coming up. One of them is going to be Tron Ares. I'm going to review for this show. I'm pretty excited. It's a pretty highly anticipated film for me this year. And there's going to be an advanced screening of a pretty much an unknown film, but to give you a Star Wars point of view, not the Star Wars. I'm not the Star Wars. I'm just a Star Wars kid, but a review to another film that I'll keep secret for now. But it's an advanced screening. It's, I think, an Australian film, but anyway, we'll see that for next week. And anyway, until next week, my friends, keep rocking.